Now to reaction out of our nation's capital this evening. Reaction on the growing number of mass shootings. Less than a month ago, 10 people in a Buffalo grocery store were shot and killed in a racist attack. The alleged shooter has pleaded not guilty on domestic terrorism and hate crime charges. Our Washington, D.C. correspondent Rachel Knapp is joining us live from the U.S. Capitol. With Rachel, how Congress is examining the growing threat of domestic terrorism. Good evening tonight.
Good evening, Eva. Yes, we've heard testimony from family members of Buffalo shooting victims, and it was just emotional and powerful. And on top of their testimony, there have been recent reports from the Department of Homeland Security about this growing issue. And so family members are encouraging Congress to do something about it.
My mother's life mattered. My mother's life mattered.
Holding back tears, Garnell Whitfield Jr., the son of Ruth Whitfield, who was one of the 10 victims of the Tops grocery store mass shooting in Buffalo, New York last month, told senators their family has endured so much pain after losing their mother.
For her to be murdered, taken away from us by someone so full of hate, is impossible to understand and even harder to live with.
Authorities say evidence shows the alleged shooter, an 18-year-old, was motivated by race and targeted the supermarket in a predominantly black community. Before the shooting, a 180-page document allegedly written by the suspect was posted online, writes that white Americans are being, quote, replaced by people of other races. This morning, the Department of Homeland Security warned of a heightened threat environment for domestic violent extremists.
All violence will never be tolerated.
We cannot deny that hate has a big platform.
In this hearing, senators look to examine why domestic terrorism is growing. Looking at the Buffalo shooting and the January 6th Capitol attack, a political science professor from the University of Chicago explains violent populism is rising in the U.S. due to extremist ideas getting circulated.
A key extremist idea is the Great Replacement. At bottom, the fear that minorities will have more rights than whites. As these extremist ideas become mainstream, domestic terrorism is evolving in more dangerous ways.
But adds that we can combat this growing issue.
The solutions to violent populism are the pillars that have always guided our great American democracy: dialogue and listening to each other.
Now, political analysts say the U.S. should really concentrate on getting these reports and producing reports annually on people from across the political spectrum on any incidents, saying that it should help better understand the extent and the source of any threat.